All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Serious Angler podcast. As always, I'm your host, Bailey Egbert, and joined with me is my co-host and the captain, Mr. Andy Full. And new to today, and to obviously we're going to divulge more information here in a second. Our new co-host, Mr. Adam Deakin
Cue
from
the
Business
drum
from the
roll.
Bass Pro.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, we needed a legitimate drum roll right there, but
Or like
congrats.
a woo.
Congrats on being a part of the Serious Angler family, Adam. It's obviously a huge pleasure and honor to have you join us
Absolutely.
because one, we're both big fans of your show, and we know a lot of the folks that listen to our show listen to yours. And we've been talking about this for some time, so we're finally glad to mend the bond here and get you on the squad. So we're pumped to have you, dude. We appreciate everything that you've done for us so far with the preview shows and hopping on. You know, you've done shows with myself talking to Matt Airy and KJ Queen. We appreciate you. So it only made sense that we finally made this thing happen.
No, guys, exactly, man. I'm honored. I'm super excited. What you guys have created is awesome, and we're gonna blow it up. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, we can't wait.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into some information on how we're getting Adam aboard here and how we're getting his show because we do not want to do away with Business from the Bass Boat. We only want to take Business from the Bass Boat and Serious Angler, combine them, and then grow them even further. You know, making it a platform where all of our guests are going to be able to reach a bigger audience. Our audience is going to get higher quality information, and it's going to be pretty sweet. But really fast for folks that are tuning in, obviously we have big news today that you guys have seen on the social media yesterday. If you're not already, make sure you guys go follow Adam on social media. Business from the Bass Boat. We're gonna have everything down below that you guys can go and click on. And little plug here today. Go ahead to our YouTube channel. Andrew and I's first team tournament of the year is up on that. Go check that out. Beyond that, Andrew, do you have, or Adam, frankly, do you guys have any announcements before we dive into where Business from the Bass Boat is going to make its fit?
No,
Let's get going.
All right, perfect. Well, Adam, start us off for folks who may live under a rock that are brand new, viewers and listeners to the Serious Angler podcast. First off, a little bit about yourself, but then two, about your show. You know, what kind of the gist you try to get across, the points you try to get across and nail home with Business from the Bass Boat, and then obviously we'll cover some more information.
Yeah, guys. No, I don't know about living under a rock. That's not anything crazy, but no, more than anything, guys, I created Business from the Bass Boat with the mindset. I really had a passion for tournament bass fishing, the outdoors in general, but really tournament bass fishing. And I saw all these entrepreneurs and founders of these companies building these brands in the outdoor industry, in the fishing industry, in something that they loved. And I thought, gosh, there's got to be a way to communicate with these folks and kind of bring that knowledge on how they created some of these brands into the industry. And I thought a podcast would be a good platform to do that. So Business from the Bass Boat is all about kind of the business side of the fishing industry. Primarily, I'd say focused on small and up and coming, as well as some larger companies too, but really that growth pattern and seeing where people have saw a niche for something new and built it up. Of course, it's a lot of anglers too that have these side businesses and that kind of thing. The most recent show with John Sukup, of course we divulge into fishing stuff. I'm a freak when it comes to tournament bass fishing. Fished at the high school level, the college level, and then now this last year fished the Toyota Series and all Bass Nation, all that stuff, of course, along the way. So I still do plenty of that, and I'm excited to show that kind of stuff on the Serious Angler channel with the YouTube and whatnot. But that's a little bit about me. Big into the outdoors, really big into tournament bass fishing, and Business from the Bass Boat has been my little baby, I guess, with the fishing industry. So I'm excited to keep doing that.
Well, dude, I think the biggest plug we need to put here is I think you're one of the very few podcasts to ever be plugged by Bass Blaster.
Yeah.
Jay Kumar over there. You made the Bass Blaster email.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for that.
I think it's on their website too.
Jeez, dude. That is awesome.
You're big time. You're big time already.
Oh, no. I don't know.
Now we got
Deakin
on Bass Blaster.
Yeah.
Me and Destin made Bass Blaster. The only one who's left is Bailey to make Bass Blast.
I've been on Bass Blaster a couple
Have you?
times.
I was going to say, of all people, I was going to say Bailey will get there before all of us times.
Yeah.
I've been on a couple times. Thank you very much.
Nobody tells me these
I
things.
was in the boat
I'm
with
left in the
Jake
dark.
on Lake Toho. Okay,
Oh,
thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. Well,
sounds like you need to subscribe
fancy schmancy, all right?
Sounds like you need to subscribe to Jay's newsletter.
That's right.
Yeah, I actually do subscribe, but I literally it's like my grammar deal with texting. I usually just look the other way as I'm texting, and I'll just delete all my emails, look at them real fast, and I forget what's there 30 seconds before and just move on. But, it's life. Hecticness is coming to an end soon.
Nice.
So I'm very excited about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
5 working days left.
Big switches going on here.
Yeah.
Andrew's becoming full-time, full-time. Sole income is coming from the God life here too.
Blessed.
You said you have 5 days left, Andrew?
5 working days left at my full-time job.
How does it feel, dude?
Nerve-wracking. So
You'll be
It's all going to work out.
You'll be fine.
not worried.
It's all scary, but man.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, if I fall flat on my face, I can go get a corporate job and start all over again, but I just don't see that happening. So
It's a good thing your wife is a genius.
no, she's a mental health therapist, so she's a calming soul. I wouldn't put genius in there because nobody's
she's a
over
business
9.
genius. You got to give her that credit.
Yeah, and I'm going to take full credit for that one because she would not be in private practice if I did not make her sign her lease when she was 8 months pregnant. So I was like, this is a dumb move. If you don't do it, the day you come off paternity leave, you are going into private practice because you are going to make 5 times the pay. And yeah, so a little backstory on that real fast. Literally, as soon as she came off paternity leave, she started a private practice, got 2 or 3 clients, and then within 6 months, she was full-time.
That's awesome, man.
Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
Two entrepreneurs in the same household, man.
American dream. You can do whatever you put your brains to, right? So
That's a fact.
But I mean, I'm truly excited to have Deakin joining us because he's actually going to give us some content too in the Midwest, right? Areas that we can't cover. So on the Serious Angler YouTube page, you're going to see a lot of Midwest stuff from where'd you fish that one Toyota? Was that Table Rock or was it Lake of the Ozarks?
So this last season's Toyotas, it was on Grand, Lake of the Ozarks, and then the last one was on the Arkansas River this year.
Yeah.
So
it's entirely different spectrum. Me and Bailey are landlocked up here in the Northeast, so we're broadening our horizon. Broadening. See, now I told you about this speech thing earlier today. It kind of comes out from time to time, so I apologize.
Wow. You guys should see his text messages. They're worse.
Oh, yeah. Scrambled nightmare.
It's going to be pretty exciting because obviously Adam adds a completely different perspective to fishing than Andrew and I being Northeasterners. So we're excited for that. Excited for that input. Excited for the content he's going to help us out with and just helping us out in general. In fact, we're going to add a brand new show every Wednesday. Andrew or I will be joining if we're free that time. If not, Adam's going to be running his show like he's been doing for a long time now. This business oriented of the fishing industry, talking with anglers, talking with industry leaders, CEOs, folks that are have a lot of brains in this industry, and he's going to pick them apart. So that's going to be pretty wicked. And on the content deal, obviously Andrew's going to have a lot of content coming out from the Northeast. One from just being a guide up here and being on the Great Lakes, being a smallmouth guide. And then Adam, you're going to be out in the Midwest. And then I'm going to be traveling around doing kayak stuff like our fellow Drew Gregory's going to be doing. Hopefully I'll beat Drew Gregory finally in a tournament. I don't know. He's laughing. But
he goes down, he popped right up. He's like, "You ain't beating me, boy."
But we're going to have the whole spectrum out there. I think which going to be really cool. It's because we're going to have kayak tournaments. We're going to have BFLs, Toyota Series. We're going to have some opens. We're going to have team tournaments. We're going to have educational
Tips and
videos.
tricks.
We're going to have fun fishing videos. It's going to be pretty cool to kind of divulge what we can do with this platform. So I'm pretty pumped. And like we said, it'll be every Wednesday is when Deakin's show will be running. We'll be posting stuff on our socials of what episodes he's going to be running, who's going to be on his shows, a little bit about that. Deakin will be taking over. He'll be involved in our channels too. So for folks who've messaged us before, you've talked to Andrew, you've talked to I. Now you're going to have the chance to get messages to Deakin if you're not messaging him through his personal page. Go ahead, Andrew. I think you had a point there.
I'm just going to say something here right now. I'm going to call the shot and say at least 1 week a year, as long as we do this, we have to meet up and film all together somewhere and do a little series.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we were thinking.
Somewhere.
I was going to say that for offline here, Andrew.
No, I'm putting it right on the air. Right on the air.
Well, listen, Bailey and I are both fishing. I've never spent any time up north, and I'm going to go as a co-angler up and fish the 1,000 Island Open. I'm signed up for that and everything. So you'll be free, Andy. I know you got the guiding thing going on, but let's make something happen.
Yeah, it depends on when you come in and when you leave, because that opens what, the 10th, 9th, 10th, 11th, right?
Yep.
I think. So I have guide trips the 12th, 13th, 14th, and then I start practicing for the Douglas Derby 15th, 16th, 17th, Douglas Derby 18th. So, yeah.
Maybe before I could just fly into Buffalo and we can work that out.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me know.
All right.
We'll figure it out, but it's going to be pretty sweet. Adam's going to be joining us on the YouTube and the MP3 front. So all of his shows will be right where you guys are finding our stuff. Obviously, co-hosting with us like he is tonight, and finding us on all of our socials, as we mentioned. So, Adam, dude, again, I know we've said it a bunch of times, but, dude, we are pumped.
Welcome. Thank you.
Guys. I'm excited.
Yes, sir. Well, guys, is there anything else we need to touch on? Because, obviously, we got some more news to cover here. We got some folks that are sitting in the queue that are very patient with us running late tonight, and they're listening through this. They're like, found wow, a bunch of idiots talking to each other right now, but they're just trying to get their news across. But we're pumped to get on Drew Gregory, who's been on the show many a times, and Mr. Tony Forte, who we've never had on the show, who I'm excited to introduce. And we're going to be talking about some really cool stuff in terms of 2022 Kayak Fishing World Championships. So before we get into that and introduce these fellas, do you guys have anything else that we need to let the folks know before we obviously bring them on and have an outro?
No. The one thing I guess I would say is always send us questions and what you want to see, so we can kind of produce content to what our viewers want to see and hear. So that's one of the biggest hints I would throw out there, is let us know what you want to see.
Yeah. Hey, one other thing I just thought of with that comment. Part of the kind of the YouTube content stuff, aside from the fishing, I don't know why I like breaking things down analytically. So some of the YouTube content that I'm looking at producing is kind of more along, hey, so you want to go pro, or basically the analytical route of the finance side of it, as well as different lakes you need to go to, that kind of a thing. Just my thoughts there and opinions on that. So that's one other thing to kind of tease towards the YouTube stuff I'm excited about. Yeah,
Adam's got some. I'm gonna do this all the time. I'm gonna call one of you Andrew and the other one Adam. So Adam, I'm just gonna refer to you as
over.
Deakin.
I should just say Deakin. Yeah, you're good with that.
That's what I've done on all the preview shows you've been on. So I really just need to stick to that. Otherwise, I'm gonna mix them up all the time. Mm-hmm. But you've got some stuff whipped up that you put a lot of hours in that I'm really excited for you to show off. So
yeah, man.
If that's not another teaser for everybody, I don't know. It's going to be pretty wicked. But fellas, I think without further ado, we should introduce our guest here tonight. Obviously, who's a fellow who's been on the show quite a few times. He's almost like essentially another co-host remotely here is Mr. Drew Gregory. And then last, a new face, Mr. Tony Forte. What's going on, sir?
Not a lot, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, we're happy to have you. You've never been on the show before. So obviously Drew is a familiar face, maybe one we've had on too many times. Folks might be getting sick of him. I'm already starting the trash talk for 2022, Drew.
Going into bed at 11 something at night after a podcast anyway, so waking her up. So I'll cut off. We don't have to do. Tony, you can take this whole thing, man.
Yeah, sure.
We'll just
So-
take Drew out of the equation, so we'll just
Yeah.
have Tommy. Makes it a lot easier.
Force fan.
Yeah. This isn't about Drew. No.
Yeah, you already.
Uh,
I think Drew's having some technical difficulties.
yeah.
Yeah, Drew, your connection's a little shaky, bud.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, just like your tournament results will be in 2022.
Oh,
How do I sound
Coming
now?
for you, son.
Are we putting a side wager on here? Like all
We
this
can do that.
trash talking, I think a side wage, a side bet is in tune to happen.
I think we need to set up, Drew. I know we're probably people are like, come on, guys, get on with it. But Drew, I think before 2022 starts and the schedules are announced, we'll have to make a side wager with a schedule.
For sure. Hey, do you guys hear me okay now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it sounds
you're good
still
now.
better. Yeah,
it's good.
it's a little better.
Unfortunately, you can still
Okay.
see you. So
Yeah.
He's savage.
Dude, Bailey's on
Yeah,
fire
dude.
tonight.
he
Yeah,
knows I'm
man.
messing. He knows I'm messing.
It's true. I'm easily embarrassed, easily to mess with, so I get it.
Drew, we are cut from the same cloth. My life is at the expense of everyone else teasing me, so it's okay.
Especially on the fantasy shows when you get just trashed by your picks and your scores.
Yeah, that's a
And
fact.
Bailey's bringing up the rear again, everyone.
Yeah. Every time I'd be racking up the scores at the end, and they're like, and then last, there's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not first, you're last, and Bailey's theme is if you're not last, you're last. So
Yeah.
I just like how even though the strategy wasn't working all season, he was
stuck
like,
with it.
you know, I'm not making these picks. I'm going for picks that no one is taking. And we're like, well, clearly the results are showing.
There's a reason.
You keep doing that, my guy.
Hey, I'm loyal to the strategy, all right? You got to see it through. All right. Well, obviously, folks who listen and watch the show know we're all about tangents, and this tangent is over, I promise. So we're going to be moving into the World Championship of Kayak Fishing for 2022. And Tony, before we do that, quickly introduce yourself for folks who may not know you, a little bit about yourself, and then let's dive into what this whole shindig's about.
Yeah, sounds good. So, yeah, Tony 40. I live in North Carolina, just south of Raleigh. And, so I've been involved with an organization called U.S. Angling for a number of years. And that organization is responsible for fielding our national fishing teams. And those teams range from ice fishing, bass fishing, carp fishing. There's a variety of sports, fly fishing, these types of things. So kayak is sort of our newest sport that we have actually proposed to the International Sport Fishing Federation as a sport, as a legitimate, obviously, sport. And they accepted that proposal, and we're going to have that event in Cookeville, Tennessee on Center Hill Lake next year in April. And so as part of that process, we wanted to select a team that we felt was appropriate to represent the United States, as well as leave some room for other anglers to actually earn their way on the team. And so I got to tell you, Bailey, if you ever want to beat Drew in a tournament, you want to fish the U.S. Open this year and make your way onto that world team. So guys like you, anybody who's out there that's a dedicated kayak angler, we invite them to come to that U.S. Open. That's in September, again in Cookeville, and make your way on to Team USA. Show and prove.
I think I'll let Drew feel good about himself this year. I'll come for you next year.
I love the shots. Like Bailey's usually the one taking the shot, so this is a weird situation for me in the middle. Having Bailey firing, he's just firing and firing. I'm like, what is going on here?
It's just it's one of the nicest guys we've ever had come on the show, and I'm just taking advantage of it.
Here you go, Bailey.
He's roasting. He's like, take that.
Here you go.
He's one of the checks done.
Oh, and I don't even have my, you guys listening to this as a podcast can't tell. I'm joking around with Bailey, showing him all my checks and trophies behind me, but I actually don't have. You just reminded me, Tony. My wife made a cool little plaque from the 2019 Pan American, kayak fishing championships we had, and where I got a gold medal for Team USA and a silver medal in individual. And she made this beautiful, like she put it in a box, with a glass case and everything. So I got to put that on this wall too. I forgot this isn't even here. We just moved to Ohio, so I'll just add that to my trophy case, Bailey, and you keep that little wooden fish behind you all you want.
Oh, he's fighting back. Here we go. Nice people.
I fought back with the fantasy comment already, so come on. I'm throwing a few punches. Hey, but real quick, Tony is doing a great job with running all of this, and we got interrupted by COVID a little bit because in 2019 we did have, and I believe I'm calling it correctly, it was the Pan American Kayak Bass Championships, correct, Tony? That we fished?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, and so yes, we did. We were scheduled to go to Panama the following year,
right?
And now that's been pushed back twice. And so I believe we're actually going to be scheduled to go to Mexico. So. Right. So yeah, that's another opportunity for kayak anglers out there. So if you make the top 6 of the U.S. Open, you're going to, as a male or a female, you're going to be able to make the Pan Am team. So that's 12 total anglers. The big idea here, the big overarching theme, why do we go to all this effort, is that there is growing belief that if fishing is going to ever become an Olympic sport, it's going to be kayak. And it makes sense in all the right places, right? Because if it's human powered, kayaks can go basically on any water that, is fishable. And it's, growing globally. So, and the fact that there are already kayaks in the Olympics, there's some tie-ins that make it very, very interesting. And even the nature of catch, photo, release from a conservation standpoint, they just tick a lot of boxes. And the organization that we're a member of, the World Organization, has an application in with the IOC to be recognized as a sport. And the only feedback that was given is you want to see, long-term trends in terms of participation and male and female participation. So those are all in our wheelhouse. There's some amazing women kayak. There's amazing women anglers, but in the kayak world, there's some, fabulous, fantastic anglers. And so it's just cool. It's a cool thing. Drew, he's modest, but the guy on, when he's out there, he's an assassin. And Russ Snyder's and some of these other guys that are on the team are just world-class athletes. And we certainly use the term athlete over angler. Particularly Drew, he's out there paddling away. So it's an exciting thing. The U.S. Open is something I hope everybody decides to at least take a look at. If you guys, one of you or all of you, make it down there, you'll have a heck of a time. We're gonna party, we're gonna fish, we're gonna have fun, and promote the sport.
Yeah, awesome. It's very cool, man. I'll touch on that too, real quick. One, just to shout out the rest of the current U.S. team. We've got Eric Jackson, Ron Champion, like you said, Russ Snyders, Jackson Orr, Guillermo Gonzalez, Cody Milton, and myself. And then the winner of the U.S. Open will take that final spot on the overall world team for the World Championships in April of 2022. But I will say my experience in 2019, this is just so different. Okay, so you got to think about this like this. It's not a competition with, Hobie Bass Open Series or Bass Nation Kayak Series or Kayak Bass Fishing. This is actually, and Tony, you can touch on this, if you get something recognized as an Olympic sport, it's helping grow all those other trails more so than hurting. You know what I mean? Like, we're not doing a ton of events. It's the same way that the NHL works with the IOC to put a 2-week gap in their schedule for the Winter Olympics, and NBA and, all these organizations, these leagues that are year round with tons of games, and matches. they're just, it's kind of to help grow those as well. So I hope people don't see this as another thing that's in competition, because there's a lot of tournaments already out there to fish. So it's definitely not that. It's the complete opposite. So I hope everyone joins in on the U.S. Open. And then, like you said, there are 6 spots available for the Pan American team. And at the Pan American Games is where I got my first experience. And it's just insane because, you're not competing for money. You get to compete for the pride of your country. And I know we're right in the midst of the Tokyo Olympics, and you heard probably a lot of stories of people saying how it just means so much to them. A lot of these golfers and NBA players that, certainly are used to competing for a lot of money are doing it just for their country and the pride. And the camaraderie between the other countries that were there was just like nothing I've ever seen. Like, there's people just as crazy about fishing as we are in these other countries in kayaks, and they see us and they follow us on YouTube and, social media. And it's just something different that I can't even explain how much it means to me to be a part of something like that. Tony, can you remember how many countries were there at Pan American Games and some of the countries that did show up as we're growing this thing?
Yeah. So, Canada obviously had in Mexico were the primary contingents, but we also had Honduras, Costa Rica,
Puerto Rico. Was they there, or Venezuela? I can't. There was about.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember
countries.
all. Of course, you have to
South
quiz
Africa?
me. But yeah, so at the world
this was
level,
Pan American. This was Pan American.
Yeah,
so
it was just Pan
include.
American.
Didn't, but it had about eight different countries. Ecuador, I think, maybe was there. It was really cool to see it all come together. Anyway, so it's just an experience. I hope people join in, because it's more than just what we look at now. Is like, what are the payouts and what is this? And now the U.S. Open's gonna have money. The U.S. Open is that, but when you actually compete at the Pan American Games and the World Championships, it's definitely more about just the pride for your country, and then eventually trying to get it to an Olympic sport, like Tony was saying, which is going to help it all just grow even bigger. So, and there's a lot of Deke, there's a lot of implications on the business side when you get into all that, which will, hey, maybe one day we'll get on the show, you and I, and talk some business from the kayak a little bit. So
there you go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Good little plug.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is our flagship is our USA Bass team, which is Scott Martin, Jacob Wheeler, Mark Rose, David Dudley. So those guys, that just gives you an indication of how cool it is to represent your country, period. And I think that this group of kayak anglers, I'm excited about every one of them. We don't have enough time to talk about them all, but a guy like Jackson Orr, who started top levels tournaments at 16, and now he's going to be a tough guy to beat for many, many years, and a first class individual. And all the guys on the team,
besides Drew,
quality.
Yeah.
Minus
Yeah, I mean, Drew's a little sus. But,
now I got Mr. Fool. I got it from both sides now. It's not even just Bailey anymore, dude.
There's a nice comfort level here.
Yeah.
When you win a lot, or you're up in the top and fishing and you get ribbed on, there's not much you can say, because you either come back or you look like a jerk, like, oh, look at me, or so it's a tough spot to be in. I just sit here and just
let him have it, Drew. Come on now.
You can give it right back. I don't care.
It's a level playing field here, but what I'm curious about is, and I think what other people might be asking the question now that may not have all the details, right? I know Drew, you did a good post on it, kind of portraying the details, and obviously hopefully this show and this episode will help portray more details. But for that spot, right, that qualification, or even for the 6, where do people go? One, where's the event being held to qualify for that spot? When is it being run? And what's some details on how to qualify?
Yeah, so it's the U.S. Kayak Open. It is September 11th and 12th are the comp days. The 10th, they're actually going to have a parade. So registration's on the 10th. There's going to be a parade through town, show of patriotism. They did that at the Pan Am, and it was a big hit. So if qualification is going to be at that event. It's the top angler, man or woman. Who knows who that's going to be. They'll make the world team, and then the top 6 men, top 6 women will make the Pan Am team. It's pretty straightforward. So if you go to usabass.org, that's a solid place to look. Fishing Chaos is going to be our platform for the scoring, so you can look up US Kayak Open on Fishing Chaos as well. We'll see you there. It's going to be held in conjunction with a KBF High School Open. So at the same time we're having our US Open, there'll be a high school event through KBF, which is exciting. And we're even going to have a huge youth fishing event downtown Cookeville. And we're going to have guys like Charlie Evans coming in with his Paw Patrol rig and just some real cool stuff. It's just a celebration of the sport is really what it's all about. Like Drew said, this is not a big money thing. It's if you're a serious fisherman, no pun intended here, but this is something you want to come check out. It's an experience inside of a tournament.
Yeah.
Okay. I might have missed it, so I apologize if I did, but where is it being held?
Cookeville, Tennessee, Center Hill Lake. Yeah.
Center Hill Lake. Is it just the lake, or is any other water and bounds? I couldn't remember if it got expanded to anything else or not. Can't remember.
Yeah. So there is a section of the Cumberland River as well. So awesome. There's pretty diverse water, and Blewett Falls there is a small little impoundment as well. So there's a lot of water to be fished. It'll be interesting to see, how people break it down, for sure.
Dude, the parade was unbelievable, guys. Just so you know, we've got everyone in the back of trucks, all the teams, and they've all have their country flags. We're driving through town, people are cheering us on, and the Mexican teams over there, ole, 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 ole. Just it's like it really is like the Olympics, man. Like everyone's going nuts, and we're all screaming, USA, USA. It's really cool. There's a reason why Scott Martin and Jacob Wheeler and B-Lat and MDJ and all those guys are fishing on the bass boat side. And I just hope that the kayak anglers are starting to see that this is there's a lot to this. There's a lot more to this than just this one event. It's the whole global perspective of this means so much to our sport. As we being the pioneers, anyone listening to this in kayak fishing or watching this is sort of like something we can build and grow and develop to one day, leave to the future generations and say, wow, we help grow that into an Olympic sport, because like you said, Tony, it's athletic. Kayaking's already in the Olympics. It makes a lot of sense. If you're ever going to get any sort of fishing in the Olympics, this would actually be it. So we'll see.
I'm pulling up the lake here.
It's awesome.
So my question is,
for those viewing, you guys can see what lake it's going to be held on. Gee, I wonder where Gregory is probably going to fish.
Yeah.
So
go ahead and point it out, Drew.
Yeah.
So Tony, real quick, so everybody, if they're looking to enter the U.S. Open there in Cooksville, how many kayak anglers, are you anticipating fishing, and what is the entry fee?
Yeah, so we're optimistic that we'll have a couple hundred anglers. The entry fee is $150, so it's pretty reasonable,
modest.
And we're gonna, your entry fee is gonna be split. Part of that money is gonna go to help fund the program, the team, USA, and the other part is gonna go, to prize money for those that participate. But you will get a really sweet lid that looks something like this. We're pretty proud of our logo there. That's pretty new. So, it's we're trying to make it as accessible as we can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that stands out to me in this kind of a thing, right? And it's you guys keep mentioning, hey, it's a lot more than just about the money and fishing tournaments that have a big prize. I mean, the biggest thing with these kind of events and having the banquet and those kinds of situations, I mean, the networking that you get to do at these places, you're talking about the top guys in the sport.
That's right.
And just I don't know. There's so much more to that and pride to that to me that it makes a lot of sense to have events like this and get to go compete around the world. That's really cool.
Yeah, no, that's true. Networking that's a huge point, Adam, because I still have relationships that I made at that event that have become important to me today. And if you are, again, a serious angler, then you would want to get, you'd want to go to. I wonder if any non-serious anglers ever tune into this, and Bailey's just going to block and be like, "Dude, you're not serious." Anyway,
subtle shots.
Yeah, but.
I guess I gotta block myself from this.
Dude,
canceled.
If I was on my wit game, I should have said that to you instead of using it yourself. But anyway, no, but that's true. Okay, so on my resume, if you're selling sponsorships as a professional angler, there's something called a media kit. Most of us have something that shows our stats and what kind of reach we have on social media and stuff like that. If we're like, for me, for example, I'm like, hey, I'm a contributor on Bassmaster.com. I'm, this is my social media. Here's my tournament results. I'm on a lot of podcasts like this, for example. Although maybe I shouldn't list this one, the serious angler on my resume. But anyway.
Drew, not so serious. Gregory.
But to get to the actual point, it's when you go and you get a gold or a silver or bronze, whatever you compete in this, to have that on your resume, that's something I've always, listed it, and it means a lot because it's from an official organization that's tied, to this Olympic ladder. It's not like some local guy just made this up. This is all tied to it. It's legit, it's real, and it means something. No one can ever take that away, like that gold and the silver that I've gotten individual. So it's something that really looks good on the resume for those anglers who are trying to build their resume to promote themselves with sponsors. So that's a great point by Deakin. Of course, man, you're hitting the business stuff. Not surprisingly.
No.
That's why he's here.
That's right. Finally, some measurable output from Deak.
Oh man, that's good. All right, so for people who obviously are going to be competing in this event, and you're probably not just competing in it to cherry pick a tournament, right? You're competing in it to try to make that spot, to try to make this event. So they're probably going to be curious. One, I know, Drew, you mentioned it's going to be in April of 2022. These championships.
Yeah,
where is it going to be held?
Yeah, you want to go, Tony? You want me to talk about that?
It's allowed to be told.
Yeah. So the Worlds is going to be there it's the same place, Cookeville, Center Hill. That's why we're having the U.S. Open there, so that whoever wins that tournament can fish that venue. If you follow.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's designed so that when you fish this fall, you're gonna know the lake. Whoever qualifies for the team can fish the water well, and then we're gonna invite the world to come fish with us on Center Hill. So,
right.
Are we stacking the odds in our favor? Well, that's kind of what a host country does.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So just to tackle that as well, and that community has been so great to kayak fishing. So it's really cool that we're able to go back there. But after that, it starts to travel around the world for Worlds, and then also the Pan American Games, like you said, Mexico, Canada. We'll be in locations such as that, Panama. But here's the thing: you're probably thinking there's no largemouth in Panama, right, or whatever. But what happens is in this competition, guys, it's not just a black bass competition. This is USA kayak fishing. It's not whatever, like largemouth or smallmouth. So it not necessarily in Panama, we were going to be able to target 3 different species: the rainbow bass, the peacock bass, and snook. I believe we're going to count because they were all in that giant lake that's connected to the Panama Canal that we were going to be on.
That's so cool.
So yeah, when you go somewhere else, we're going to, I think, tell me if I'm wrong here, Tony, but you're always going to try to find the species that is most similar to black bass, that sort of predator species. And if you're in Australia, you're probably catching their bass or their brim, and then stuff like that. I mean, there's some black bass in other countries like South Africa, like you said earlier, Bailey. There's some black bass there that have been moved, even smallmouth. But we'll always try to find them, I think, the closest fish to bass, and we're never going to all of a sudden switch to like maybe I'm wrong on this, but we're not going to switch all of a sudden to offshore for, halibut or something, but I could be wrong. I don't know. That's an athletic thing
Yeah.
too.
So that's a great point. The title of the official sport is World Predator Kayak Fishing. So a predator can be defined, South America, that might be a peacock or, or a group of fish. I think this event will end up going up north and we'll likely fish for walleye, bass, maybe throw in pike or muskie. You could fish it at a striped bass venue, or even, you could get into steelhead, something like that. So there's definitely going to be variety, regionally and globally. And it just kind of makes it exciting, that, most of the anglers that I talk, there are some hardcore people that think that the only fish that swims a bass. And I get it, man. I love fishing for bass, but if I catch a 20-pound catfish, I'm pretty stoked too. So,
whatever pulls.
Yeah, whatever pulls,
right.
man, whatever bites. So, this event, this is the start. This is the genesis of this type of a thing. And, Adam's point about networking, you can go as far as to say that this kinds of events promote world peace. And you're not, sounds hokey, but I guarantee you that Drew probably never, thought he would be doing, I don't know what you were drinking at that banquet, Drew, but, you got to watch out what the Mexicans bring. I can tell you that.
That's right.
But yeah, the camaraderie is unreal, and we just wanted to succeed and expand.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I actually swapped hats with the Mexican team, and man, if I'd have been smart, and that's not an opening for you to jab me, Bailey, but if I would have been smart, I would have gone up to my closet and grabbed my Mexico kayak fishing hat and brought it down to show you guys. But it's similar to jersey swapping and stuff like that. The teams everyone bonds from other countries. It's pretty remarkable. Tony's not far off. I mean, because that goes back to their countries, and the positive vibes that we all had together there goes back, and it's kind of like, man, those guys from Mexico are really cool, or the U.S. or Canada, and it trickles down. It's no different than marketing. Back to Deakin's element here. No different than marketing. If you get one good angler in a Crescent kayak, for example, and he's out there at a boat ramp and he is talking to some people and explaining how cool it is, and they test it and whatever, then that person may go do the same thing, buy one, go do the same thing, and it continues to spread. And that's how brands can spread really quickly, especially in today's day and age with social media. And that's exactly what we had happen at those Pan American Games. Just a love for knowing that we're all the same. We're all alike. We all have the same passion. It was pretty cool. So you're really not far off here. And every little bit of difference we can make as individuals in this world, in my opinion, it's a few more people that we were able to touch and change. And that matters to those few people that were touched and changed. So good job on setting the whole thing up, Tony, and John, who also is a big part of that. John Knight, right? Last name. I think I got that right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. So great job to you guys.
Thanks.
All right. Well, a couple more questions here. Just kind of general angler curiosity is, so obviously you have the U.S. Open here in September. Is there a cutoff then for either information or being on the lake or anything like that coming up for the World Championship in April?
So yeah, you talking about the U.S. Open first?
Well, not really just the U.S. Open. I mean, more so just for World Championships, because like countries that are coming over that are going to have limited amount of practice.
Right. So we do have official practice days, and we do have a couple of days that the lake is off limits. But if they want to come a week early, we're going to encourage them to come fish. Absolutely. We want to try to make the waters as open as we possibly can. But in advance, there is dedicated practice that is, it's restricted and it's, The world format is different, so this US
Mhm.
Open is a KBF rules. It's familiar to all, tournament anglers. The world event, we have to pick specific launch sites, because we're providing kayaks for all these, incoming nations. So you have to pick your ramp, and we have a launch time and a return time. So if you decide and there's no motors allowed, so it's paddle. So you have to be strategic about how far out you go, which ramp you pick, and make sure you get back in time. I just could totally remember it was a Costa Rican angler, and I was watching I'm at the ramp. I'm just like, well, everybody's back. And then I see this little kayak off in the distance. And I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be close. And that his boat hit the gravel on the ramp with 30 seconds to go. And you should have seen the sweat. And I mean, this guy was a mess.
He was
trying to
bombing.
get back to that ramp. It was wild. So yeah, that dude, he got a workout.
I bet. So
Yeah.
so what are the practice times? Is it like USA 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Canada gets like 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., right?
No, everybody will be on the water. Yeah, same time. So tournament hours. Yeah,
I like Bailey's idea. Yeah, I like Bailey's idea.
Those damn Canadians.
We could.
No,
yeah. Well, let's just put it this way: if what is it, April? So if May of next year, if Drew's not on here with a gold medal around his neck, there's going to be issues.
Uh-oh. Pressure's on, bud.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
this.
really,
More
man.
pressure on Drew.
Jeez.
Don't lose to those damn Canadians, will you?
That's no pressure.
Man,
Which is
all right.
funny because I think 8% of our viewership is all Canadians, so we're probably going to lose 8% of our viewers now.
Well, then they weren't serious anyway, apparently.
Yeah. Shots fired.
Oh yeah, we have a good love-hate relationship with the Canadian team. They're a bunch of good guys over there, so I'll be happy to see us just all back and competing now that COVID's sort of hopefully fading away for good. So
Hopefully.
yeah, hopefully. I know.
But I guess my last question is, what kind of coverage is this event going to get? Is it going to be broadcasted at all?
Yeah, so we're looking into a lot of options. It's it's coming on us fast, but we'll have. I don't know. Let's put it out there. If someone is interested in doing it, we're all ears. And
we're gonna send Deakin down with an iPhone. He's gonna cover it all live.
Hey man,
There we go.
And a GoPro was a Hero 9 Black.
Yeah.
Hey, I will put out a shout out here, and I know Drew, this is actually kind of follows in line with what Drew's been doing recently. He's become a member of the Paddle and Fin crew. They have done some installments where they've been doing some tournaments live. I think Brian Schiller over at Paddle and Fin would be a great person to talk to about.
That's right. No, he would be for sure. He definitely would be. So let's give him a call and see if he wants to cover it. But in terms of other coverage, obviously you guys have a very strong reach with the press releases and the media list and the contacts, and some photographers I'm sure will be there and stuff like that. So the general print, if you will, or now online digital media. So yeah, we'll get some good coverage with that kind of stuff, and then hopefully like we're talking about, somebody want to come down there and do some video work again for kind of for the cause for US.
That's awesome, guys. Heck yeah. Andrew, Adam, any questions for these fellows?
I don't have much else other than it's really cool. I think it's a great idea. It's a great concept that's come to kind of fruition over the last couple of years, and I think there's a place for it. And I always love more tournaments that spread the sport out.
Awesome.
For sure.
Well, I guess my last question for you, Tony, is unfortunately I'm not going to be able to make the U.S. Open because I will be at the St. Lawrence River for a Bassmaster Open. So how the hell do I get my hands on that hat?
Yeah.
Well, that is a
Well,
strict lid, and I need that.
Yeah, I might know a guy. So yeah, let's talk later, and I'd be happy to get one in all three of your hands.
That would be awesome. But
Greatly
obviously,
appreciate
good
it.
luck to you, Drew. Being that you are on the team already, we'll be rooting for you, and whoever qualifies to make that last spot, and then the 6 men and women that qualify as well. I think it'd be cool to get you guys back on here and the winner of the U.S. Open after the event, and we'll kind of get a lowdown of how everything went, and then you can circle back before the World Championships. Maybe even be cool to kind of get somebody, like a representative from each team, to get on here and kind of almost do like a show, like a event preview of teams coming over. I think we should try to set that up.
Yeah, for Worlds for sure. Well, cool. I appreciate you guys having us on to talk about it. And last thing I'll say is there is a KBF tournament and a Hobie kind of in between. So in that same area and same region. So, if you're looking to do one of those, it's just come a little early or stay after, and you could be there for the U.S. Open as well. So kind of double dip. If you're going to make the trip already,
He's
you might
just
as well.
plugging to take your money. Run.
Hey.
No, that's
if
awesome.
I win any money, then hey, at least the spot will roll down. Since I'm already on the U.S. team, the spot's gonna roll down, right? So isn't that right, Tony? The spot will roll down to the next person who's not on the U.S. team, if Russ or Cody or whatever Guillermo win or someone like that.
Yeah, so that's right. Yeah, so you're
okay.
Cool. If you don't have to beat somebody who's already on the team. So
yeah. All right.
Oh,
but
I
if like Drew
apologize.
finishes,
I was talking about
fifth.
the Hobie and the other one.
Oh, you're talking about
the other one.
KBF,
Okay.
yeah. I apologize.
If Drew finishes fifth, then it rolls down. He gets booted off the team, right? Because then the 4 in front of him are on the team.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think Tony's
going
to be very disappointed if Drew finishes fifth from the way this conversation has gone. So he might get the boot.
Pressure's on.
Yeah. Jeez, this is a tough crowd.
Well, you don't put guys on your team to get second, third, whatever. So yeah,
first or last,
or in Bailey's case, last or last. The shots come full circle around here. So.
That's right. That's right.
Well, fellas, we appreciate your time. It's been awesome to get you on here, Tony. It was great to meet you. And we look forward to chatting more further. And obviously, good luck at the U.S. Open. We'll be paying attention and following along, and hope we get you guys back on afterwards.
Sounds great.
Right on.
Thanks for having us on, guys.
As always.
Yeah. See you guys. Thanks.
All right, fellas. We'll be in touch.
All right. See you.
All right. Last time we ever have Drew Gregory on the show.
Oh, yeah. He's booted. Forever.
I say that because he's still in the queue.
Makes one comment to Bailey. All right, he's done.
No, good show because that's going to be it's going to be a really interesting event. If I didn't have that open, I think I would definitely try to make time to make it down to that event.
Yeah,
absolutely. But it's kind of cool.
Who wouldn't want to be on Team USA?
Yeah,
if you're in the kayak fishing world, yeah.
Like. No matter how you do, just to make it to that event, like kind of Drew mentioned, making that resume, right? To have Team USA fish the Pan Am World Championships, it's going to be that's something that's cool to have. That's a staple. That's a conversation starter that'll last the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So that'd be pretty cool, pretty fun to follow along. Maybe next year will be something I can try and qualify for. But it's kind of cool. So if you guys are listening, you're kayak fishing and you're gonna be down in the area or you got nothing going on, I highly advise you going down there and trying to make Team USA and do us all proud. But again, thank you to Tony and Drew taking the time out. We're glad to hear about that event going on, and we're excited to see what happens. But fellas, I think there's a couple more things to cross off, and I think one of the biggest overarching things that kind of caught my eye from today was Major League Fishing at Lake Champlain.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude.
Did you guys happen to see the standings?
Matt Lee is winning by over 50 pounds.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I think 56 pounds. Let's see, I have it here. Matt Lee is, after day one, has 103 pounds, 5 ounces. John Cox is in second place with 47 and 15 ounces.
Wow.
I think he's fishing. I think he went to the St. Lawrence.
That's
while
almost
they're all
60.
fishing Champlain. Although I'm genuinely shocked that Lake Champlain second place is 47 pounds.
Me too. The only thing I can think of is maybe the wind blew a little bit, and a lot of guys, their areas were a little tougher to fish, and Matt just found like a tucked away spot that he just unloaded on him.
Damn.
Yeah, that, or he's just on the freaking megawad, or he literally caught every single fish in a spot and was screwed for day
burned
2.
it to the ground on day 1.
But no, I feel like he'd be smarter than that, just kind of a general gauge. But no, it would be interesting to see how he does day 2. Well, I say day 2. Tomorrow's day 2, which is Group B. But Group A, day 2. That'll be interesting to see how he does.
Yeah, and then all the anglers too that are fighting COVID.
There's what, 7?
Well. 6 or 7. Was it Luke Clausen, Fletcher, Randy Howell? There's a couple other I can't think of. Mark Daniels,
Justin Connell, MDJ. There's a bunch of guys that they don't say what generic reasons are, but like you go and look at like Fletcher Shryack's Instagram, he was in the ER.
No, there's a couple of them that are, dude.
Yeah, and Luke Clausen is in the ER up in Plattsburgh right now. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
So, I hope they all recover and feel better quick. I know Randy Howell is in like post-COVID phase, but he has some like symptoms, like he's still tired. Just hope they all get better sooner than later.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't try to get political whatsoever on the show, but all I say is be safe, be smart. That's about it. Because life is short. So
yeah.
That's about all I'll say on that topic. But it sucks to see because, at least what MLF did is they made that a rule, essentially, that Bass did, that if you have an event like that, you can drop it.
Yeah.
You can. I think everyone has the ability to drop one event in MLF now, right?
Yep.
That they're really creative. Cool. Well, that is good because obviously it
was a good adjustment on the fly.
Yeah, it's not a predicament you want to be in whatsoever.
No.
But any other things we might have missed from today that is newsworthy, things that people should know, anything like that?
I missed. I didn't watch any of the live coverage today. I'm curious how Matt was catching them. I'm excited to tune in tomorrow.
Well, he may have been stuck on a sandbar because while he was practicing, he got stuck for a little bit running through Mallett's Bay. So maybe it's in Mallett's Bay.
There you go.
Bold prediction.
Yeah. What's crazy too I'm looking at the results right now on the Major League Fishing website. They have the cut line.
Looks like a largemouth.
What? Oh, he was catching a largemouth?
Yeah,
that's sweet.
It's like, hey, look at Mr. Tyao.
Oh, nice.
That tie on the show. 55-pound single day margin of victory is biggest in MLF history, and that's the big old greenhead.
That's a big old greenhead. That
is a real big fish.
Welcome to the North, Deakin.
Yeah, dude. Listen, no, we've especially
exploiting largemouth and shallow grass in a particularly productive stretch of the inland sea, working a 4-inch Senko on a 1/4 ounce weight to register the largest single day margin of victory in Bass Pro Tour history.
Oof.
It was a long derby ahead, but today was sick. That sounds like such a Matt Lee statement. Today was sick.
Yeah.
The spot was the nectar. Who says that? I'm going to say that now. Good for you, Matt. It's the nectar.
The juice.
The juice, the nectar.
Dude.
If there's any clips from today, because I did not watch.
I didn't either.
I unfortunately forgot that MLF was on today until I saw the news of people having COVID. And I was like, oh, yeah, day 1's today.
Let's see if they show any clips. It looks like a spook.
But it's a 4-inch Senko.
Yeah.
I would love to have Matt on the show. And let him run. Let him just go with it.
Yeah. My only experience with Matt was at the College National, like back in 2016 or something. And it was just like a meet and greet for anyone who made the national. And we're sitting there around his boat, and he's like, you know, just the most chill guy. He's like, so what do you guys want to talk about? How much money I don't have because I'm doing this thing? Like, he was just
Letting her rip.
yeah, he's like, dude, he's like, I have an engineering degree and I'm out here scraping for dollars. Like, it's, you know, it's just awesome, man.
Dude, I won't lie. We when they did the Niagara like bracket challenge, I got to talk to Jordan Lee for a minute, and he's like the exact same. He's like, we ain't making no money doing this. Like,
Jordan is.
Now he is, but yeah, back then that was before he had a classic championship.
Yeah.
So
Jordan is very If I never had the opportunity to hang out with Matt, but I got to hang out with Jordan a bit at the at ICAST, and yeah. Very laid back, very calm, collected.
Man, it's always
exactly.
You know,
Just some good old boys who can catch some bass.
They can catch some bass too.
But I'm gonna have to tune into Group B Day 2 to try to see what the heck he was doing, be on a top corner.
Who is in Group B? Any notable names?
Let's see. Well, they're.
And Aaron Martens is back. That's another big notable.
He is.
He made the track up there to
He's in ninth. He's in ninth, man.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his place.
Yeah. He's in the midst of a very long, scary battle, and I hope every day that he comes out on the positive side of that. Cancer sucks. So.
All right. Group B. Casey Ashley, Adrian Avina, Bertrand. I mean, they're all notable names, but one thing I want to mention here, my boy Justin Cooper from the Toyota Series, the Tackle Warehouse, I should say, not the Toyota Series.
As a hammer,
Justin Cooper is fishing this event. I don't know.
I think it's really cool that they're doing that.
What's that?
I think it's really cool that they're doing that.
Oh, like they bring in the top 10 too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because, you know, like, especially when they announced that, hey, first of all, you're fishing professionally, right? So it shouldn't really matter who you're competing against. But you know how there was some arguments around, okay, these Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit guys aren't going to get the same coverage because all these MLF pros are coming down to fish the pro circuit if they want to. It's like, well, on the other side of things, we're getting to see some names jump up, right? And get that coverage at the Major League Fishing level. So, I mean, for instance, Britt Myers is in third.
Yeah.
Well, no, sorry, not Britt. Britt's been there. I was thinking of the other Britt that's Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit that made this one, or I thought he did.
Oh, the Britt from California.
Yeah,
that's Aaron Britt.
Never mind.
The boat crash, Britt.
Yeah.
He did have a boat crash.
That's not a shot. That's just how I know his name.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
So obviously everyone, like Andrew, you mentioned notable names. Let's just be real. Major League Fishing, every guy is a notable name.
That's true.
Came over
Wheelers in Group B.
But guys that have been dominating, yeah. But it's cool to see the guys that are new faces in it, right? The 5 or so that they let in to compete at the event. So you got Justin Cooper, like we mentioned, is a good buddy of ours. Ricky Robinson. Looks like there's 2 in Group B. Let's see if there's any in Group A. We have Lawson Hibden, Mr. Tin Cup.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is there anybody else?
Oh, that's the other one that's out with COVID. Anthony Gigliardi.
Oh. Shoot, man.
Oh, and Chris Lane too, right?
Yeah, and Chris Lane.
And Chris Lane was another one. I don't see. Oh, Jacopo, the Italian.
Yeah, dude.
Jacopo. I am rooting for the Italian. It's settled.
Always, man.
How did he do today? Let's see.
Hey, he was out pre-practicing. I remember during the live Bassmaster coverage. Polinick or somebody was talking about how Jacopo had just like went by and was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," like because he had like a 4-pounder, like right where someone was going into. I think it was Polinick. And I was just like, "Oh, dang!" So he spent some time up there. So hopefully he can get it done. That'd be cool.
Oh, he was out there while the elites were out there. Oh man, that's interesting.
Right.
Those damn Italians.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Get off my leg.
Dude, it's
okay. Real quick, and this is like I said, this is no shot at anybody.
Yep.
What is your guys' like? If you know a big tournament's going on in a lake, do you still go fish it if you want to go fish it, or like do you stay away?
No.
Even if my buddies are fishing a tournament, like on a local open, I won't even go there.
No, same. The difference is when Jacopo's competing also for or is fishing at a chance at $100+ grand in a couple of weeks and say he's going to be in the area, I don't think he was trying to get in anyone's way. He really wasn't. Like even Polnick or whoever was commenting was like, oh, dude, he was like trying to get out of my way as I was pulling up, but he had one hooked and he was like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry. You know, so like I think it's a little different, like if you're pre-practicing for a major event, but as far as like going fun fishing or something, like, dude, absolutely not. I'm staying away from it.
Yeah, I meant that question more in general. Like if you're fishing for $100,000, I mean, crap, I take all the time I can get to practice too.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in the area, you know, and especially in his case. But also Lake Champlain is absolutely freaking massive. So there's times where you can just not see anybody all day long. I just meant more just in general, morally. That was a test and you passed.
Okay, good.
No, I was kidding.
In that case, every time Bailey's on the water, I'm going out and fishing around him.
That's fine. All you do is skip docks. So I'll be good.
Oh, shots fired.
I absolutely hate dock fishing.
Uh-huh.
Dude,
we noticed that sodas.
I hate it so much.
I've never seen Andrew so mad in my entire life.
Wow. That's what tournament fishing will do to somebody. I know.
You guys will see a little clip of it.
I literally two-hand chopped my rod into the water. I was.
You ever
so
seen the clip of Ike
No
break his
way.
rod in half?
Oh, yeah. I was like, shut up.
So we went and hit docks at one point, and Andrew stopped me if you don't want me to tell the story.
Oh no, you're fine. I don't care.
But Andrew, I was telling Andrew not to worry about it and get mad because it's not his fault. He was trying to skip in like a 2-foot boat wake that was hitting his dock, and he was trying to skip under. I'm like, dude, just wait 10 seconds and you can skip under it because it's not easy. Everyone knows it's not easy to skip when there's a wake, especially a giant jet ski wake that ran 20 yards from us.
Yeah.
No, it was just funny. Andrew's like, every cast was like, bang, hit a pontoon boat, bang, hit a pontoon boat. He's like, son of a.
Two-hand chop right out into the water.
Dude,
I'm just glad I hit the water and not the gunnel because the rod would have exploded. The water.
Yeah, you would have went full on Ike.
Yeah, it would have literally been Ike.
I thought about it, but I'm not that much of a hothead. I cooled down instantly right after that. I was so mad. It was like 15 in a row. It's like ding dong, ping tong. I'm like
making noise on the docks.
I can't win. Backlash.
Dude, I feel you, man. We don't really have very many standing docks here, right? It's all floating docks and stuff. Yeah. So this year, like, I fished Lake of the Ozarks, which I literally think I've never seen a place with as many docks as Lake of the Ozarks. So like it is actually absurd. Then Grand, which obviously has a bunch of docks too. So it was fun this year spending some time in those places and skipping docks because I've done it, but not to the like those guys, man, in that part of the world. And same with like North Carolina, right? Like the places where just dock fishing is huge. It's incredible to watch guys go by you with it, you know. And I'm just trying to think of like anywhere where maybe they didn't put something, and I watched him go through it, and I was like, yeah, I don't think he missed anything like going down that bank. It's fun though.
Yeah. Guys are good. Dock fishermen that dock fish like exclusively, they're such home run or zero. They're like hero or zeros every time. They either crack them big time or they do what me and Bailey did and weigh 12 pounds.
Yep.
So like, there's like no middle ground with dock fishing. It's either they are there or it's all 2-pound rats.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Yeah. So, interesting deal, but it is what it is. But obviously, we'll have that video coming out hopefully later this month. We got a couple more videos to post in between now and then. Obviously, Adam's videos will be starting to post on our channel and the MP3, so we're excited for those. But fellas, is there anything left for the folks that they need to know?
Happy Friday and have a great weekend. And make sure you always tag us in your fishing picture posts so we can share them and help spread the word of everybody catching them this weekend. So that's my tidbit.
Heck yeah, Adam, anything else to leave?
No, guys, get out if you can. You only live once, and it's good to get out, go fishing if you can. So get out there this weekend.
Heck yeah. I reciprocate all of that, but also Monday Night Live, we have Daryl Gleason joining us. So we're going to do a rookie year recap on Monday Night Live.
Awesome.
And we're excited to get him on. And as always, folks, we appreciate you guys. And last but not least, go follow Adam's personal social media. That'll be linked down below. It'll be all the links you guys need from us are going to be on every single episode. You just got to go down from social medias to discount codes to brands that we represent, their websites, all that jazz. It's down in every single show description. You guys can go check it out. But as always, we appreciate you.